So I worked at Starbucks for a while. It was my senior year of Harvard, and I was taking relatively easy classes, right? And I had extra time, and so if you don't know this about me, I like to buy things, which is kind of hard to do when you don't have money, right? So I decided to go ahead and get some work. So I applied to the Starbucks in Harvard Square. And then I got to the interview, right? And I got the position, but then they told me that place was gonna close in 2 weeks. So instead of starting there, I started at the Starbucks over in Broadway Marketplace, which was really close to campus. And I got there and I realized that like I've never had like a job before, like a real like I did construction growing up with my dad, and I've had a couple of internships here and there, but I've never had like a straight up like hourly paid job. And so I got there in December, I'm excited, I'm ready to go, except no one has trained me, right? Because they had this one guy, like they showed me how to do CS, the customer support and the dishes. But for those of you who have worked at Starbucks, which is like probably a good chunk of y'all, like I don't know what it is about Starbucks, but everybody's worked there. So you know that the hardest part of training is the bar, right? Where you make all the drinks, right? No one ever actually showed me how to make the drinks. And to make matters worse, like I started in December, like right before winter break. So like right after I learned just the CS and the dishes and what else little things, I left for 3 or 4 weeks and completely forgot all of it. All of it is gone. So fast forward and I'm back from the break and they put me on bar, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. I would have like the iPad out with like all the recipes on it, trying to make drinks and sequence them. It was a mess. It became pretty clear that like I'm not the guy you want on during rush hour to be on bar when all like the high school kids would come and during the morning rushes. Like I'm not that dude. And I kept trying to tell them like it's like I didn't to training. I didn't do it. And they kept saying, oh, we'll have somebody show you the ropes eventually, which kind of happened, but really I just ended up figuring it out after like 4 or 5 months. But yeah, so usually they would have me on register or over at warming, where you heat up the food, which was great for me. I'm a sociable person. I like taking orders, saying what's up to people and whatever, but yeah. But enough about my career. Let's talk about the customers. Right, that's probably what y'all here for. So Starbucks took customer service very seriously. You're not allowed to talk back to like a customer ever. Under any circumstance, you just don't talk back to the customer. Just smile and do what they say. And I know I put like Karens in the thumbnail or whatever, but like we really had Kens. Like that was the majority of what we dealt with. This one time a dude, he tasted his drink and then he slammed it back on the counter and told the barista to make it again. I was on register, so I was sort of detached from the situation kinda. But the guy on bar, the barista, he said sorry and he took the drink and remade it and gave it back to the person. But if it was me personally, I want to let that slide. This apron can come off at any time. There were also these random like social justice warriors who would come in and rant about specifically like the mask policy. So this was during COVID times, right? And for a while, like the employees and the customers, we all had to wear masks. Every now and then, this one dude would come in and he would come in without a mask, right? So that one of the employees would have to tell him to wear a mask, to which he would reply, and what are these for anyway? And you know the type of dude this was. Like he would walk in, like older, kind of losing his hair, has an accent kind of, and just thinks he's the main character when he's not. So after somebody would ask him to wear a mask, he would like put one on, but then like pull it down so that someone would have to tell him to pull it up. To which he responded with something usually about freedom or mandates or whatever. And then he would go over to the pickup area after ordering his drink and he would rant about something about Trump, Biden, liberals, something or another. Like he would just go off. And he would talk sideways about the person at the register who told him to wear a mask. So I was never on register when this guy came in, but me personally, I want to let that slide. This apron can come off at any time. And I mean, like, if that's his opinion, cool. But like, the thing is, we don't get paid enough to care. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's yelling at the bottom of the chain of command. Our job is to make your drinks and remind you of what the signs on the building say. That guy was in there acting like he was really taking on the power, fighting the powers that be, had his boombox on his shoulder, standing on his soapbox. But like, in reality, it was a bunch of high school and college people just trying to make money, right? So my favorite kind of customer though was the kind that would just like come in and complain about anything and everything. This one time a dude came in and he started yelling at the barista. He started going, "You can't leave trucks running. It's bad for the environment." And there's like an older-ish white guy. And me and the other baristas were confused for a second, right? And we realized we were talking about the truck that our delivery guy had parked there. Now George, the delivery guy, would show up every now and then and park the truck there and deliver the things. Like he would wheel them in. So we had nothing to do with that operation whatsoever. That this guy was letting us have it. Now I was on warming, so again, I was pretty far away. But what this guy didn't realize is that George is like a 6'2", 260 brother whose living is moving like stacks of boxes twice the size of this dude ranting at. And so after a couple of minutes, George came back out and he's like, what's going on? It took the old dude like 2 seconds to realize who he was really complaining about. And before any of us could say anything back to George, this dude was gone. Like, I've never seen an old person move this fast. Like, before any of us could say anything, this dude was out the door, around the corner, and like leaving. Like, he was past the building basically, and he was gone. And then, and George just kind of shook his head and went back to work. But if it was me personally, I wouldn't let that slide. This apron can come off at any time.